Morning everyone. I just wanted to show you a glimpse really into my life. I'm a real studier. I've been practicing the healing arts ever since I changed my life. It was either kill myself or change my life. I was at a crossroads and there were only those options, and I decided in the end, thanks to someone telling me that my dead nan was sitting beside me, I wouldn't take the path of killing myself. I knew what I had to do because I loved my nan and she was with me all my life from the day I was born until she died. And so from that, I suppose I jumped straight into being a spiritual listener. I listened. I knew there was more to life, and I took that leap of faith and left a relationship of 24 years with 2 children, one of 2 and one of 6. And off I went, bumbling away out there, I must admit. But I had to go for healing because I was in serious need of healing. And when I did, I started on these books. I started with Chinese medicine. I worked healing myself with Qigong, the martial arts, which I found fascinating. And then I went on and took massage. I have certificates for that, and crystal work, and working with angels. So it was a really fascinating thing, and I have studied with all of these things. The reason I have the brain here is I can't get enough of it. It's the most fascinating subject, how it interacts. But since those heady days of maybe 2005, and I've walked along, these are more recent books, it's very recent indeed. This one isn't, but this is, that's a fascinating read if you want to know about the Aborigines and healing again. But they all mean something to me, and I use them as reference. Quite often I go back over them and can dive into pages years later and open up what I want to read. This is a lovely thing to get, the angel numbers. This is Doreen Virtue. I just love angel numbers. There's nothing like it when you're in a place of lost sadness and you need a little pep talk to yourself. Think of some numbers, open the book up and see if they resonate with you. And I'm sure they will. These are books also that I've been interested in for a long time. This I found fascinating. This is 1978. And in 1978, this one. I also have books on the ghost flight of 101. They're all very interesting subjects, but we're going to stick with spirituality here. This here is a selection of art. I called myself Jane Bond, and I had a website and everything up and running for this. I got into art because I was trying to do illustrations, and then I found suddenly I could paint, and I can't, you know, if it's me doing it, I know I can't paint, but when I tune into my higher self, out come these wonderful things, and I can paint. And this, all of this is channeled art. It's not me. I'm the one painting it, sure enough. I'm the one buying the paints, buying all the equipment. But when I paint, this is all channeled. And it's phenomenal. So that's why I'm so passionate about teaching Reiki. Because this allows you this. You think you can't do something? I'm telling you, you can. I mean, this is beautiful. I've sold these. I had a shop selling these. I went in and they took me straight away. And I carried on doing art for a while. But unfortunately, I didn't have enough to raise 2 boys, pay a mortgage and all the other things you have to do as a single parent. I didn't have any backing. So I gave it up and went into mainstream. And then I ended up burning it myself out and being very ill for a year and a half. Extremely ill. In fact, I couldn't walk. That's how ill I became. I didn't have any oxygen, couldn't walk. So now, blow it all, I say. Of course, if I'm some tough chickie. Now I'm going back into everything I love. So art, and this is just some of the stuff I do. I make lots of things like this. I do all sorts of stuff. I teach art classes and what have you. It's just fun, but I'm going back into it all. Come what may, who cares? There's only one thing that ever saved my life, and it was this: learning about the other side you can't see. And since then, I've worked tirelessly with spirit, doing major healings. I have met people that I would never have sitting around my dinner table in a million years. But I've learnt a lot from them, thankfully. And I've learnt why you can't heal certain things. Because I'm up against the odds if I try to. But now I've learnt how you can heal those things, but a different avenue, different view, different way of thinking about it. You can't stop learning once you get into spirituality, once you get into therapies. And there are thousands of therapies. There are names all over the place, but it all comes down to one energy. There is only one energy. How you enter that energy is up to you. Find the one that suits you and go for it. When I teach Reiki 1, I love it. Reiki 2, well, it's the biggest joy in the world I think I could possibly gift to somebody. And when I say gift, it's not free, it's an exchange of energy. You pay for something that is really going to make you have the most wonderful life. Everything gets better. I can't explain it all, and it might not happen there and then, but within a year, maybe 2 years, your life will have changed completely. And you could be in your 40s and 50s and nothing's changed. Just think, in 2 years, your life is nothing like it was for the last 40 years. It is, honestly, it's so amazing. I can't believe it. And with this healing, I have done myself lots of things for people. And very, very recently, I met a young man who had a stroke and couldn't move his hand at all, couldn't open it and move his arm. And fair enough, I was there a long time with this guy, so we're talking quite a few hours. We're not talking 5 minutes. Working through things, talking about different aspects of how you heal, how you move things, how do you get the nervous system to work, how do you get, well, I'm not even worried about, don't worry about the nervous system as a whole, that because it doesn't work like that. But if you look at just one area and you want that area to start working and you need the nerves to be working in that one area, that's possible. So much so that when he recently sent a video to his sister, there he is using that arm, opening the hand, picking a fork up, and with some dexterity getting it to his mouth. He couldn't quite get the banana in his mouth, but he couldn't move his arm before he met me. That's the magic of it all. It's a miracle, but unless you try these things out, you'll never know what your impact you can make on people's lives. And it's the impact you make. I mean, I can't explain to people, and it frustrates me a little bit how people don't want to get better. It's not your soul getting better, and you certainly don't want any more adding up in that area, because you don't want to be a dark soul. And I've met many dark souls who look lovely on the outside, but my God, they are dark. They've got a lot of work to do. But your human body has a lot of trauma. And in this lifetime, for every single person on this planet, in this lifetime, you have to heal that trauma. If you don't, your life is just not going to get any better. It's just going to get worse. Why would you want that? Honestly. Oh, come on. Let's wake up, everybody. Come on, let's wake up. I mean, this is phenomenal life. All right, I do all this studying, but it doesn't mean to say everyone else has to do it. I do it because I'm asked by Spirit World to go and do something. And I have to know something about it. I can't just walk in, because I'm confronted with all sorts of scenarios and I have to know what I'm talking about. I have to meet people and they look at me, and if I haven't got the answers, I can't go in there. And Spirit have asked me to get somebody, may have to retrieve somebody, I might have to, I don't know, somebody wants to meet up with they died depressed and they want to meet up with their ex-partner or whatever, and they knew that was the love of their life. And I know it is because I'm looking at them myself. Both died in depression. I have to be able to understand what went on, be able to talk to these people, get them back from where they are and join them together and move them on. It takes a lot of energy from me. It takes a lot of energy from all the people I ask to join me. And I ask all sorts of people. I might even have Aboriginal people, who are amazing. I can't even tell you what their energy is like. Well, I can a bit. Their energy is completely the earth. You walk on the earth every day and possibly can't sense that energy. Not many people can, but that's the energy that Aboriginal people hold. It's blinding, absolutely blinding, and they know all about it. They know every single thing about the earth that you walk on. It's phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. And I've met some Aboriginal people. They wanted healing, and I met 2 men. They came for healing, not for themselves, but for a past history. They needed that healed. It was a closure, and that's been done. That history's gone. It's been healed. Not particularly for the people living, they'll still have the memory, but for me it's just clearing that energy. That's what I'm doing, clearing the energy out so it happens no longer. And then they can move on. But that's what healing for me is like. I mean, I work at all sorts of levels and do all sorts of things. But that's why I know how exciting it is, and that's why I want people to take, not just Reiki from me, take it from anyone. I mean, you can't take it from me anyway. I'm a one-person band. But there are thousands of people doing all sorts of modalities. Go for them. Try them out. See what resonates with you. It really is amazing. And there are miracles. Imagine not being able to move your hand after a massive stroke or your arm. And suddenly you get the movement back. I worked with a man who had serious injury in a football accident. I met him really by chance. He didn't come to a session or anything like that, but I met him completely by chance when I was out. And we got talking about healing and various other things. And although everyone around him was laughing their heads off, I'm used to that. I couldn't care less what they think. He was interested, and he said, well, my leg doesn't work, and I've been having physio for 2 years, and it gets better for a couple of days, and, I just can't get my leg to work properly because the nerves are damaged. So I said, well, I'm going to show you something if you're acceptable to it. And he said, yeah. So I put my hand just above his hip, his thigh area, and I just said, I'm going to hold my hand here and put my other one near your kneecap and just let me know if you can feel anything. So I was 2 inches away from him, and he went, I can feel a lot of heat. He said, it's getting really hot. My calves are getting really hot. I said, that's all right. So if it gets too hot, just let me know and I can dissipate some of that heat. I said, it's funny because my hands are freezing cold. I said, but let's just see how we get on. And then I started to move my hand down and his leg started twitching, literally kicking out. I said, oh, is that thing your friend said about you can't, someone hits your kneecap with that funny round stick, it doesn't work? He said, exactly. He said, oh my God, I can't believe it. I said, well, don't worry about it. Just sit there, keep calm, carry on. And when I finished, I said, right, I'm finished now. I'd advise you just to start moving your foot up and down and around and all that. So he did all that. I said, now, he kept coming back and said, I've got to say thank you, Carol. Can I hug you? Yeah, you can hug me. Can I hug you again? Yeah. He was like a child, literally. A man of 45 running around the place going, I can't believe it, I can't believe it. I can move my foot. I've never been able to do that. I said, he was an English guy but lives in the States. I said, what I would suggest to you is, I'm being shown a road and there's like a Gypsy Rose Lee shop in maybe downtown somewhere. Go there and have massages now. She gives massages, this lady, she's a tarot reader. He said, I know the shop. He said, because some of my mates go there. I said, it's beneath you a bit, I suppose, because this guy was a multi-millionaire. And he said, well, not really, but I know what you're talking about. I said, well, obviously don't take your motor there because it's not that sort of area, but go. She can do what I can do. And also when she taps into you to do what she's going to do, she can ask me for help, which I can do. And he said, I just can't believe it. I said, and please don't pay all this money out. If you've been having physio for 2 years and no change, forget it. You're in the wrong area. So the point is, everyone can heal. And these things can be healed. It isn't unnatural to heal the nervous system, but don't look at something as the whole, because that isn't how the body's made. The body was never made exactly as you see it in one moment. The body was made over millions of years of different creation. We built upon it, a bit like electronics. I worked in electronics for donkey's years. And when I came along, I worked on Doppler, which goes into aircraft. And it lets aircrafts know how high off the ground they are, how fast they're travelling, and are they close to the ground, not close to the ground, whatever. And it works by microwaves. But the point is, that electronics, when I joined it in the 70s, was being developed during the war. And that was in the 40s. That was, middle 40s, beginning of the early 40s. So the 70s is 30 years on. Jump forward to now, 40 years on again. 40 years on again. And you've got electronics now you can hardly see. But it's still doing exactly the same job. In fact, it's probably not even doing the job I was into, because by that time we were supersonic flight. 10 years before me, or even 20 years before me, they were building even more. Supersonic flight came mainstream, but that took 20, 30 years before that happened. So things have to be made and then built upon, made, built upon, made, built upon, learnt about. It takes a long time, and the human body is that. It isn't an instant quick fix. But if your body understands the person who's coming to do the healing work, and they can talk over many levels and touch many places and go back maybe 3,000 or 4,000 years, you got a better chance. But that, funny enough, is in everybody, but there must be an ease to that. An ease, look forward to it, enjoy it, go with the flow. I mean, there are lots of things people can do, and I've seen amazing stuff that I can't do for sure. But lots of people, we're all aspects of the same flower, the same petal, the same rose, the same beach. We're all aspects of the same thing. But we have different histories that make our lives ever expanding, but not on the same level. So I would suggest to anyone who hasn't taken up any form of healing, whatever it is jump in, because it is so exciting. And I can promise you, your life will change. If you don't want to change, that's a little bit of a problem, but that's a problem for you. You have choices. Your body may well take you to a place and make you change. But we all have choices. But they will go away from us eventually if they're not leading you in the right way, because choices haven't really been helping, have they? Anyway, speak soon. I must do some more art. I do like colour. Oh, what a mess. I'm making these little bags, look. They're for my courses as well. I've got a Reiki course, I've sold it out now, so that's a Reiki 1 course, but that's gone. Well, it will be going, so I'm making these for it. I love making things for people to take away as gifts. It's just so beautiful. Anyway, that all comes from being creative. I wouldn't be able to do any of this had I not gone and left my partner. There you go.